Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. So we said that we were going to get to our live show a lot quicker this time.
Yeah, we did.
We failed.
I think we should just start like planning like specific days, like a
That's what I
specific
was
like
gonna say.
couple days to just like be like, yes, definitely this day.
I
And we
think
have
for
to do it.
sure we need to like block out the first week of each month, and like that's when
Yes.
the book has to get done. That's when the live show needs to happen.
I agree.
'Cause otherwise, tomfoolery like this happens.
We
It's not
fly off the
good.
rails.
Yeah, we should discuss March after this and try to figure it
Yes.
out.
Yes.
We gotta get our shit together, okay? We
We
are
really
over
do.
a year into this stupid book club. We gotta freaking do it.
We
Anyways,
do.
we are here to
Yay.
discuss 7 Days in June by Tia Williams.
Yes.
How cute. I don't want to do this.
Oh no. Yeah, Brittany speed read. I think she read it in one sitting, so like
I
everything
did.
is just like a blurry blob.
Yes, bestie. I was trying to be good, and I'm like, I'm gonna read this in February.
Yeah.
So I did. I read it all on February 29th. And then you just finished it like the other day.
Yeah.
I'm like, what was that for?
All for nothing.
When
did I finish it? Let me check.
I think it was like a week ago or something.
Maybe.
Or like, I don't know. It's within the last week, I think.
Oh yeah, the 15th.
Yeah, one of my first notes that I have down is I read it in a sitting, and it was like a really quick read. Like it didn't feel like a chore sitting there trying to read it. So like that was good. Like it's not a really long book. I don't know how many pages it is. It
felt really long on Kindle for some reason.
Oh, it's only 325 pages.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad at all. Also, look at her picture in the back. It's so pretty.
I know, she's gorgeous.
I do want to try reading her other books. I don't remember what her other books are, but I know she's got more. Oh yeah, she's got one. She's got one that, funnily enough, it's a Netflix. Like it got adapted into a Netflix movie, and I had it in my list, and I didn't know that it was a book.
Oh, that's
she
fun.
wrote. So like I looked at the back and I was like, hold on a damn second.
Yeah.
She also has adult novel or what? Young adult novels. Sorry, 2 young adult novels.
All of her covers are just so pretty.
Oh, I need to look at them later. But this book, let's discuss. What were your overall thoughts, just right off the bat?
My overall thoughts was I enjoyed it. There were a couple parts that like, because she doesn't shy away from just like talking about like things that happen in her life. So like some of those was a little difficult to read, but I felt like it was like important to the story, you know? So overall, I enjoyed it.
I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't dislike it, but I'm not obsessed with it. I didn't love it like how I wanted to. And I think overall, it wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I have on my notes is it wasn't like, I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't really know like what the story was about, but like it wasn't how it was done.
Like, I think I knew roughly, generally, that there were like hard topics in this book, and it wasn't like a fluffy romance. I think I knew that going into it. I don't remember if it says anything in the description. I don't think it really does. Besides it saying like he broke her heart, which like obviously.
Yeah.
But I wish I knew more about it going in. Like I don't think there's trigger warnings in the front. And nothing triggered me, but I'm just saying like I wish that like it had a section in the front, just I would like
know, just so you'd know
what was going on, because there's a lot of talk of like addiction and things like that. I would go into more specifics, but I don't remember. So
yeah.
We are really in a battle against me and my poor memory here.
It's really showing. It's showing.
Because Alyssa was like telling me like reactions, and I'm like, I have no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah, and then I had to like explain the context of what was going on. She was like, "Oh," and she's like, "Still don't fully get it, but I kind of get it."
Yeah, I'm like, I'm kind of here with you, but not really.
Not fully.
Yeah, I just wish I kind of knew more about it going into it, so I would like manage my expectations maybe a little bit better, because like the whole premise of this book is that these two authors run into each other again after 7 years, right? Not 7 years.
15, I think.
15. It was 7 days.
Yeah. Did you know? Sorry to cut you off real quick, but her dad came up with the title for the book.
No, that's cute.
It was in the acknowledgement.
Oh, so I probably did know that and I just forgot.
Yeah.
I religiously read acknowledgements.
Yeah,
Oh, yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I was both relieved and jealous. Fair enough. Titles are hard. So
They are so difficult.
the top of the description says 15 years. It says 7 days to fall in love, 15 years to forget, and 7 days to get all back again. So I think I'm a huge second chance romance girly, right? That's like one of my favorite tropes. And so I was really excited about the concept of like they fell in love over the span of a week, and like 15 years later, they still love each other, still think about each other. And then it's a big thing in the book that like they write their books to each other.
Yeah.
Which was really cute. I loved that. But I think the week that they spent together where they were falling in love, it didn't work for me, which I have like a whole romance section in my notes. But I think that was my big thing was I did not care about them in the past. So it made it harder to care about them in the present. Like I still did, and I thought there was like cute moments, but I did not care about them in the past. So it made it hard to like root for like the second chance romance element of it. Because like just like jump into it. Like they were like in the throes of shit in those 7 days. Like drugs and like in like this weird like abandoned house. And that was just like the whole week. And like wasn't she like unconscious for a lot of it?
Yeah, because she just kept taking stuff for her migraines, and then
So I found that really hard to like believe in, because I'm like, how much time were you really spending with each other and talking when you were drugged up and unconscious for almost the whole week? Like,
yeah, the note that I have about that is it just felt so scary, like because they were definitely like going through things, and that's just like how they were like dealing with it. I guess it just felt like scary, and like you said, that kind of like overshadowed like the actual romance, I guess, because they were just both in really hard times and like kind of going through hard things like together. So like they kind of like bonded through that.
Would we go as far as to say it's trauma bonding?
Yeah, probably.
Because like I don't know, I wish there was like cuter moments in the 15 years ago sections, because I couldn't believe in it. I'm like, what how are you so special to each other? And like I'm usually like pretty easygoing with second chance romance. Like you can have the silliest little romance and like still love each other 10 years later, and I don't care. Like I will believe in that shit. Whereas like a lot of people don't like second chance romance for that reason. They're like, what do you mean a decade later you're still thinking about each other like that? And I'm like, it would be me. So I get it. I relate. So I don't know. I feel very conflicted on this book. That's kind of like my opening thoughts, and a little bit of like the romance thoughts. It's just like, it wasn't what I was expecting, and I guess in that regard, it wasn't what I was wanting. I think that if the 7 days that they fell in love, the first time, I think if that was done in a different way, or not just so completely shrouded in the chaos and the drugs, I might have liked this book a lot more. But as it stands, that's just not something that I liked. I'm also a huge fan of like single mothers or like single parents in books, because I love seeing the way that love interests interact with the children. So I did like that aspect of it. Could not tell you the specifics of what happens. I just remember that I liked the vibes with him interacting.
I liked it too. Yeah,
like her daughter was like,
because they just got away like along immediately, and I think it's because Shane's like a teacher, so he just like he knows how to like connect with teens, I guess, because that's like what his job is. So they got along very well, very quickly, and I liked how her daughter just kept calling him Mr. Hall instead of like his name. That was something I liked. And even like when she was talking to Eva about it, she was like, "How's Mr. Hall doing?" And she's like, "It's Shane, and he's doing good."
It's cute. I just like, I know that a lot of people don't like kids in like romance books, and like fair enough, I get it. But I do just like seeing like the interactions between love interests and kids, and like there's quite a few books that I love that have that in it. Like The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren has that in it. Crickets. Is there anything else? I feel like there's another one, and I'm just like,
Top Flirty to me has kids, but it's not her kids. Like, it's just
no.
family. So I guess
But
that
you know
doesn't
what?
count.
It warms my heart that you thought of that book.
Yeah.
That made my heart happy.
No.
Yeah, I'm sure there's others. I know there's like
Yeah.
movies and stuff with it in it, but
I honestly haven't really read that many that has kids in it. I think
it hits every
yeah.
time for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Or like there's How to Love by Katie Katukno, where she's a teen mom, and the dad comes back into the picture, and he didn't know that the kid existed because he kind of like skipped town before she knew that she was pregnant, or before she could tell him that she was pregnant. He just kind of disappeared, and she had no way to get in contact with him. I adore that book. That book is crack. Okay, not to get off topic, as we typically do, but I was in Indigo, and me and my friend were waiting for a movie to go watch a movie because we missed our showing because we didn't buy the tickets yet. We were just going to go and buy the tickets when we got there.
Yeah.
I think it was for Everything.
Oof.
I could be wrong. It might have been Everything.
That was a moment.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that movie. It's been so long. But we missed our showing by like a few minutes. And we're like, oh, let's just wait till the next one. So we went to Chapters, and I saw How to Love on the discount table, and we were like, let's just sit down and read for a little bit. I don't know how, but by the time we had to go leave for the movie, I was like halfway through the book. I'm like, well, I guess I'm buying it because
there's no way you were just gonna leave it there.
No, like I wasn't expecting to like it that much. I wasn't expecting to read half of it. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how long we were in there for. But I read half of it, and I'm like, okay, like, guess I'm buying you. You're $6. Like, okay.
Yeah, might as well.
And now I love it. That book is amazing. I love it. Anyways, moving on. Do we want to talk about the opening of the book for a second? Remember the opening?
Yeah, I remember it. I was just like, wait a minute, we're just getting right into it like that.
Like, iconic, really.
Yeah.
It was my first note I wrote for the book, obviously, because it was the opening scene. It was like, I'm like, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But I was like, the book opening with her choking on gum, or like almost like choking on gum, while masturbating.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're setting the tone. I know what I'm getting into.
Right.
I wish the whole book was like that silly goofy, because like, it was pretty funny.
There were some silly goofy parts.
Yeah, I would love to read like a full-on rom-com from Tia Williams. I feel like that would hit. Because it's that opening, like, iconic. Really, it's funny. Like, what is the opening? Like, actual lines. Oh, yeah. In the year of our Lord, 2019, 32-year-old Ava Mercy nearly choked to death on a piece of gum. She had been attempting to masturbate when the gum lodged in her throat, cutting off her air supply. What a way. Like, if you're trying to, like, grab me, it's like the prologue, too. It's not even, like, the first.
Yeah, not even the first chapter.
Yeah, and then chapter 1 is called Bite Me, and it says, a toast to our sex goddess, Ava Mercy. Like, it's very iconic. Yeah, but do we want to go into, like, our specific, or my specific, rather, page things that we
yes, definitely.
Unless you want to talk about anything that you've written down.
Well, my notes aren't really in any particular order, so I feel like I'll try to, like, organize them while you go through your pages. We'll multitask. Got
it. So, in classic Brittany fashion, we have end of page 70 to 71.
Oh.
I have no context what any of these are. End of page 70. Oh, okay. So this is when Shane and Ava first see each other again in the present. And she said one thing, she whispered, her lips by his jaw. She didn't want anyone to overhear. Before I forget. What's that? Stop writing about me. Only Ava could have noticed the change in his expression. She saw the flinch, the slow, satisfied curl of his lip, his bronzy amber eyes flashing. It was like he'd been waiting years to hear those words, like the girl whose pigtails he'd been yanking during recess all year had finally shoved him back. He looked gratified. In a voice both raspy and low and so familiar, Shane said, "You first."
Yeah, that was really good. I liked that. Yeah, one of my notes is I really like how they were both authors and like how they were like secretly communicating with each other through their books. Like not like directly, but like they both knew that each other was writing about the other one.
Yeah.
That one, I really liked that.
See, that's kind of more of like that. Like, I do like the current timeline. I do like those vibes. And I think the 15 years ago just kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be like it was dual point of view. Point of
Dual
view. Dual POV.
point of view.
I don't know what just happened.
Me either.
Because it was dual POV and also like past and present. So she was really doing it all with this book.
Yeah.
I feel like the past things though, like because of the things that happened, it was important to see it like in current events,
Yeah.
like it was, instead of just like kind of like relaying the information. That
For
was
sure.
a point. That was like something I wasn't expecting to be in the
Yeah,
book.
I like dual POV, and I think I was expecting not dual POV, flashbacks, like dual timeline, whatever. I do like that, especially in a second chance romance. I do feel like a lot of the times it's very important, and it will like add to it. It just, because of the context of like what their 7 days were, just didn't work for me. Also, my headphone is being like really creaky in my ear.
Oh no,
I don't know why. It's really weird.
it's not fun.
Then we have page 105. And I have a question with this one as well, but there was the whole whitewashing scenario.
Oh, I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated that so much. And they were just like so casual about bringing it up too. They're just like, "What if we make your characters white?" I was like,
Yeah.
"They're not white. They're not white."
I was like, it doesn't talk about it on this page, and then I realized I was looking at the wrong page. So yeah, they're like, let's talk casting, newbies, Zendaya, those dear white people cuties. I'm thinking actual white people, said Danny.
Yeah.
Actual
like,
what now?
Yeah.
Asked Eva. And then to get real distribution and financing, this film needs white characters. But they're black. And then Danny's like, they're a fantasy. Wakanda's a fantasy, but it's in Africa. Wakanda has Marvel power behind it. And then 2 black leads will handicap Kirst's potential. You don't want a black film, you want a big film. I see Sebastian as the Spider-Man kid, Tom Holland, and Kendall Jenner playing Gia.
Ew.
And then Ava's like, she can barely play herself, which, funny. Yeah. Whitewashing her characters would erase her career.
Exactly.
And then vampires and witches are already other. If they're also black, they're too niche. Imagine finding an audience for a film about a Taiwanese werewolf and fairy. But I'd watch that. Like, yeah. Like, I understand that that's like very like, unfortunately, like that happens and shit like this happens, but like, it was so frustrating. But my question, because I can't remember, was that ever resolved?
Like, it was.
How did that wrap up? Please tell
there
me.
Was
apparently I haven't read this book.
Yeah. There was like a party thing that they went to. I think CC set it up. But there were film people there, and they were telling her that they're like interested in her story and stuff, and she told them about the whitewashing. They're like, now we're gonna take over, we're gonna do your story, like how you read it, because that's like really important. And so she got new people to do that.
Thank God, because I could not remember.
For.
I could not remember for the life of me if that was resolved, and it was really bothering me. I'm like, surely she wouldn't just like leave that.
No, there was no way. Because she even talked to Shane about it too, and she brought up the point. She's like, "Oh, well, they're like vampires. They're already like vampires and stuff. Like, why does it matter?" And Shane was like, "Sounds like you're trying to convince yourself more than like telling me." And I was like, "That's definitely like that's not right. Like, that's like a pivotal. Like, that's just like who they are. Like, you can't. Oh, yeah, the whitewashing thing made me so mad."
Also, I feel like this is a perfect opportunity, since we're talking about black vampires, to plug Haley's book.
Oh yes, This Ravenous Fate.
This Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings comes out in August. August.
August. And it's very strong enemies to lovers, vampire hunter. I have it. I got it through NetGalley, and I'm so excited to read it. It sounds so good.
Yes. Anyways, I just thought I would take that opportunity to plug Haley.
Yes.
Doing my friendship duties.
Yes.
Who am I if not a girl that just relentlessly plugs her own friends' books?
As you should.
As I should. Okay. Okay, so this is page 129. We are in the flashback. 7 days in June. Yeah, so I think they are already in like the little abandoned place. Also, I didn't write my feelings in any of these quotes, so I don't know why I wrote this down. I guess I will read it and we will find out why I jotted this down.
Just relive it.
I don't know, because I barely remember the context of the situation. Anyways, at least I told myself what line to start reading from, so
that's good.
Helpful.
You're slowly getting to like more specifics.
On the bleachers, all he'd wanted to do was enjoy his vodka and ketamine buzz while reading a book he'd already read 14 times. It was comforting to Shane, knowing what words were coming next, and that was what was inexplicable about Genevieve. It felt like she was supposed to come next, like the chapter had already been written and they were just taking their places, like he already knew her by heart. See, that's cute.
Yeah, I like their initial meeting. Like that was, and I like how there were like tie-ins to like things that he said to her then that he says again, and like she remembers it. That part I thought was really cute too.
So I think what I probably liked about that was like the whole concept of like rereading a book 14 times. Me.
Yeah.
And like the comfort of like knowing what comes next, and like I like how he related that to Ava. I thought that was cute.
I feel like for him too, like rereading books all the time is like comforting for him because his life is changing like every day. Like every day it's like a different life. So I think it's nice that like he has his books to keep him comfort.
Oh, I love books.
They're so good.
Yeah, and then there's this part which I didn't write down, but with Claire, excuse you. Okay. With clarity, he decided that the two most urgent things in the universe were A, keeping her in his arms, and B, procuring the vodka. So I'm just like, you were literally just waking up and already you want vodka.
Yeah.
And then like, oh no, she was lying. Never mind. It was like a part where she was like pretending she had amnesia, and for a second I thought it was real. So.
Oh.
She's like, convincing, right? I grew up watching Days of Our Lives. You're a very strange person.
That was cute.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought, I don't know. Like, there's cute things like that one paragraph that I read. But then, like, interspersed with, like, all the other stuff, I'm like, I just don't. I think maybe if they had spent more time together outside of this, like, dazed, drug and alcohol, I feel like I could have gotten behind it more because people have issues and that's fine. People have things they're working through, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's just because their whole entire relationship at that time was shrouded in that, and I was like, I can't believe that it's a real connection, that this is like what they've based all of their books on, and like I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like since it's like their formative years, since like they're teens and they were going through that, like everything that they were going through, they were like the only people who like saw each other, because she was really lonely in school. She was all because like since she was always moving, he had his own stuff going on. He was a foster kid. It was so sad that he was going to get adopted, but then his like foster mom died, and then the dad like was blaming him. That broke my heart.
I'm rewatching The Fosters right now, so this is hidden. I love that.
Yeah, it was
almost
sad.
Every episode, I'm like tearing up a little bit. I'm like, what's going on?
The Fosters is just so good.
I think it's also because like Good Trouble just ended, which is the spinoff.
Yeah.
And so like I'm now remembering like how that show ends and how their whole stories end. And like this isn't like a spoiler, but like, do you remember the episode in The Fosters? Just realizing how off topic we're getting. But in The Fosters, I just watched it. It's like the Christmas episode in the second season where Jude buys Callie that bracelet that she really wanted.
Yeah.
He like originally steals it and then he brings it back and then she gives it to him for a discount for his budget. Callie was wearing that in the Good Trouble finale.
Oh, that's such a good callback.
I know. And I didn't notice. I didn't notice because I wasn't looking at her wrists. But then like the people like who run the Good Trouble Instagram mentioned it. Like, did you notice this? And I was like, stop. Like, is she actually? And I had to like zoom in and I'm like, oh my god, she's wearing the bracelet.
I would have sobbed.
Like, what do you mean? Like, she got that in season 2 of The Fosters.
Wow, she kept it
So
forever.
I was crying over that yesterday. It was a lot. Anyways.
I like just being emotional.
The character development, and then like Good Trouble also has been posting like side by side pictures of like the characters' first appearances and their last. It's like to see Callie when she was like all beat up in like juvie, and then like
Oh.
Stop. Anyways.
Yeah.
I could talk about that forever. I love those shows. Yeah, anyways. Page 151. No context.
No context.
This really is just like a game of me finding a page and then having to like skim through it to see what the hell I was talking about. Okay, we're talking about her mom, Ava's mom. Okay, I don't know if this is what I was talking about, but there's a line where he said he wondered when the last time she'd fallen apart in front of someone was.
Oof.
Oh, okay, and then he said, but that's the good stuff. He insisted, it's you. I can't afford to fall apart, she said.
Oh. So, yeah, I remember I highlighted a lot of stuff in this book. There were like some good quotes thrown at us there.
Okay, wait. Shane, she said quietly, why haven't you said my name? Shane flinched, caught off guard. It was disorienting, being caught between what he felt then versus his feelings now. If Shane spoke her new name, then she stopped being a memory. She became tangible, and he'd have to confront what was real, which was that Ava Mercy was unspooling him as slowly and surely as if she tugged a thread. Shane was here to come clean and go. Falling for her wasn't the plan. I can't say your new name. Why? Hesitantly, he said, I can't afford to fall apart either.
Oof. See, I feel like their chemistry, like in the present time, I really liked the chemistry that they had with each other. Mm-hmm. I really liked that. And like they, even after all those years, even though like the time they spent with each other was so little, like they still like got each other. Like they still like understood. It was just, I really liked that.
I also think potentially I could have been in the wrong mood to read this book. Because I do feel like at the end of February, I was very much so like in a mood where I was like, I don't know what I want to read. Like I would sit and stare at my bookshelf for like an hour and be like, I don't know what the hell I want to read. And so I would just end up not doing anything. Depression. But I had no idea what I wanted to read. But I also think I did know what I want to read. What I wanted to read, I just wouldn't let myself. Like I really wanted to read. I really wanted to read fantasy. I really wanted to read The Fragile Threads of Power, and I really wanted to read Shadow and Bone. But I made up a rule in my head that I had to read them in March. I was like, no, you can't read them in February. You have to read these in March.
Yeah, I hate when your silly little rules like take over everything.
Like,
that's happened to me before.
I also think maybe I was like doing my bullet journal too, and like I'd already written it down for March or something.
There
was something where I was like, no, these have to be read in March. Like those, I don't have that many fantasy books on my shelf, but that's all I wanted to read. So those are like really my only options on my shelf. So if I couldn't read those, then I didn't know what I wanted to read. So I think that this book was just not what I was wanting at the time. Which I do firmly believe that like the experience and like mood that you're in and like whatever when you're reading a book is very important.
It strongly sways.
Yeah, so I think maybe I wasn't in the right headspace or the right mood to be reading this, because also depression, like reading a book that like does have heavy topics like this, probably wasn't the right move. So I do want to return to it one day, and try rereading it, because like the things that I'm reading right now, like I like it, like that was cute. The thing I just read, like adorable, and it does have like all the elements that you think I would enjoy. Second chance romance, authors, they write each other into their books, adorable.
I think it's maybe, I think it was a mixture of not being in the mood and then not what you were expecting, because it was a lot like messier and like darker than I thought it was going to be, so that was kind of off-putting. But I feel like I said earlier, I just feel like the things that were talked about were important and they were done. I feel like they were done in like a really like believable way, I guess. So that made the story feel realistic. But yeah,
I do feel like I'll give myself some space from it, maybe a couple of years. And then I'll return to it and try to give it a reread. Maybe try the audiobook if there's an audiobook for it or something. Just try to like read it in a different way with time, because already I've forgotten a lot of things. So like clearly I don't have that much space. But like just when I'm really in the mood for like a more hard-hitting kind of romance, maybe I'll try to return to it, because I do really want to love it. Maybe I'll read her other books too, get used to like her writing and like explore more of her stories. But I do think that there's potential for me to like this book more in the future if I reread it.
Yeah. I was going to say that I feel like I really liked the writing style in this book, and like I feel like it fit the story. Like I felt like without the writing style, the story wouldn't be what it was, and like without this story, I felt like it was just like they belonged together. They were soulmates.
How cute. There were a lot of quotes that I liked.
I have a lot. I'm gonna see what I have.
Bottom of page 155.
I have too many to go through. I was just scrolling. I have so many.
You can just kind of like go through and like if one really stands out to you. Okay, I'll read the whole like bottom of the page. So Audra, yeah.
I think Audrey, maybe.
I don't think it's Audrey. I think it's Audra.
Maybe.
Anyways, I'm gonna say it Audra. If it's wrong, I'm sorry. Audra idolized her. When Audra was 4, she tried to hop into the shadow that Ava cast on the walls, what she wouldn't have given to try her on. On her 6th Christmas, she'd asked Santa to make Ava the same age as her so they could be BFFs.
Oh,
In 2nd
yeah.
grade, she'd snuck up on a napping Ava and colored her entire forearm with a highlighter because she was important.
The highlighter thing, that one got me. That one got me.
On days when Ava was too busy to notice, she'd snuck her special ring out of her room and wore it to be like her and to feel protected by mommy magic.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
I love
Mommy
their
magic?
relationship.
Me
I feel like she was
too.
just such a good mom. Like, even though like her migraines like were such a big part of her life, like
Right.
she gave such a valiant effort to be a good mom and like a good role model. And it's
Right.
just her kid turned out to be so good.
I
She's such
forgot
a good.
about her migraines. That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons. I know Peyton's not here, but that was one of the reasons why Peyton loves this book so much because she also suffers from like chronic migraines. It's like I knew like going into it because I was talking to Peyton about it after I read it, and I was like, I'm so sorry, like I didn't love it. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, but like the chronic migraine representation. I'm like, I
Yeah,
understand.
I
But,
have
like,
another friend who has chronic migraines, and like a lot of the stuff that she's told me, like this, like yeah,
like I like that there's that representation for people.
I do too. Yeah, like hidden disability, and I love how like when she like comes out to the other authors. I think it's at the rewards where they're getting like rewards, like the very last chapter where she's like, actually, I have a disability that nobody can see, and I'm suffering every day.
Right.
And she just felt so like liberated that she was like finally able to say that because I feel like it's something that obviously it's something like hard to live with, and she doesn't want to have it, so she doesn't want to talk about it, but I feel like speaking it and like talking about it makes you feel better about it, I guess, even though it sucks, like just knowing that like people know is like comforting, I guess.
Yep. Another cute Audra moment. I don't know what it is, but I wrote Audra to Sean. So sweet. To Sean. To Shane.
Shane.
Jeez. I didn't say where it is though.
I really liked the dermoid thing. That was funny as well.
The what thing?
When they were talking about dermoids, I think it was at the party Cece had. Eva's Audrey and Shane. They were talking, and he was talking about like dermoids because they were talking about random facts, which is like when a woman's pregnant and she has twins, but one of the babies like eats the other embryo, so they technically like ate the twin. And like there's a thing called dermoids where like they can find things in your body that have like this shouldn't be there, so like a fingernail or something. And she's talking about her stepdad's girlfriend. This is like at the end of the book. And she said that she has a dermoid, and he asked for pictures of it.
I don't remember this at all.
It was so funny. I was like, wow, he finally gets to see one.
That's crazy. Okay, I think there's a few different parts of this page that I like. So there's a part where Shane goes to Audra and he's like, adulthood is a lie, Audra. We're all just tall toddlers. Oh, and then she's like, oh, yeah. I'm aware. I'm excited to do it right. Better than y'all.
Yeah, I love her so much. She's just so like, she knows who she is, and she just,
the confidence is unmatched. Yes. This part was cute. I think this is the part. Mom is my emotional support buddy, admitted Audra. She's my person. Shane smiled softly. Soulmates. Abruptly, Audra turned her whole body to face Shane. You and my mom aren't just friends, Mr. Hall. What? But we are. Please. I'm not a child. You are a child, though. Only chronologically. Insulted, she folded her arms across her chest. Are you going to be nice to her?
Oh, nice? Yeah, and then he promised to be nice.
Yeah. Oh, and then she's like, be nice to her. My mom keeps a lot of stuff inside, but her thoughts are really loud. I know she's been scared and lonely. She has a disability, but you probably know that. It's a barometric pressure thing. When it rains or snows or gets really hot or really cold too fast, she hurts. But alcohol, stress, loud noises, and weird smells do it too. You have to learn her triggers, and please just be patient with her. Sometimes she has to lie down for a long time. You might feel bored or lonely or even rejected, but she can't help being sick. Mom feels guilty about who she is. Make her feel happy about herself.
Oh, she did such a good job of raising her. I have tears in my eyes.
I know. And then she said she can't put on lipstick because her hands shake too much from pain, but she put it on today for you.
Yeah. Yep. That part got me. I was like,
No.
wow.
I love this part. Are you crying, Mr. Hall? No, I'm not crying. I'm fucking bawling.
Oh.
And then Audra, I love this kid. I think she's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
She says, "Ugh, I have this effect on people, but it's okay to cry. Destigmatizing male vulnerability is the first step toward rebuilding the absolute ruin that straight men have left the world in."
Yep. Yeah, and there's a part at the end of the book where they have like a group chat with each other, and she's like, "Mr. Hall, you should go to therapy. Black men don't go, and it's an epidemic." And then he ends up like actually going. So like, Girlie's really just out here trying to fix everything wrong with the world. Like,
right.
She's
He
doing
even
it
says,
all.
he even says in his like narrative, "Christ, this girl was a feelings ninja."
Literally.
Oh. Right, I forgot. You mentioned him being a teacher earlier, and I just kind of nodded and went along with it, but I did not remember. But I remember now. And one of his students dies.
Yeah, that one, that messed me up.
I think I cried. I definitely think I cried while reading this book, if I'm remembering correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would have been the part where I cried.
Yeah.
So like I did like it. It just, I think I was expecting for it to become a favorite book, and that's always dangerous.
That is very dangerous territory.
Especially when like I went into it like I'd heard so many people talk about this book, but like I was never like paying attention that much, I guess.
Yeah,
or, like,
that's how I was too.
Yeah, or like I forgot what people were saying about it, because I feel like I knew Peyton loved it, and I think Haley loves it as well. But like I just never like really looked into it, and then I saw it at Valley Village. I was like, oh, this looks familiar. Well, let me grab it. Looked at it. I'm like, oh, authors, second chance romance. Yes,
Second
please.
chance, please.
And then I think I just got really attached to the idea of it becoming a favorite book, which is no one's fault but my own. So I think, going into it with the right expectations next time, I feel like will be the right move.
Yep.
For sure, Z's. Do you have anything else to say? Because all I got left is like little romance tidbits, but I feel like we probably talked about most of it.
Well, I said that I liked how they developed like towards the end of the book. Like I feel like a lot of it was just them kind of like denying like things that they know that they should be doing, like Shane with therapy, Eva with like telling people about her disability, and just like I feel like, and her like denying herself of doing what she wants to do as well. But then like towards the end of the book, they finally are just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I really liked how they like kind of just went for what they wanted. Yeah, I had another thing else, but I don't remember. Yeah, I really just put the development. That's really all else. Oh, and some of the pop culture references I felt like it was a bit too much at some points, but I didn't mind it.
I don't remember anything besides the Wakanda Black Panther one that I read out.
Yeah.
I don't mind pop culture references though; those have never really bothered me.
Yeah, there were just a couple times where I was like,
they mentioned Tom Holland and Kylie Jenner too.
Yeah, that was funny though.
But maybe I'm biased because sometimes I put pop culture references.
Yeah.
Like, cannot help myself from mentioning One Direction or Harry Styles.
Oh no,
sorry.
The time if it comes up, you gotta do it.
I know. I know people find it. I know people find it cringy when like you like write TikTok into your books or something. But I'm sorry, I'm never gonna apologize for the way that Lila's dad asks her to help him make a TikTok.
Oh no, but that's just so iconic. Oh, I love that man so much.
I loved him so much. I wrote him into another book.
Like, yeah, you just had to keep him going.
Him and his little conspiracy theories. Sweet man.
We just need Mr. Gray.
He's just gonna be in every book ever. Like, I'm just gonna find a way to bring him into a book.
Oh, he's my favorite.
Like, I remember when I realized that, like, in Reasons Why Not To, I made him a theater teacher. And then I was working on Tiss and Go, and I was like, hold on a second. Because I had another theater teacher in that book, and she was not developed at all. Like, you really only saw her, like, once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
She had no personality, no substance, whatever. And I'm, like, revising it, and I'm like, hold on a damn minute. I have a fully fleshed theater teacher from this other book, and I already wanted them to take place in the same universe. Because at one point,
I remember when you came to that revelation, we were all like, yes!
Magical. Because there was a random scene where Lila and Jada were in Tissamgo. I ended up cutting it. But they were there just like for the shits and giggles of it all. And that's how I connected the two books. And I was like, hold on, I've got something better. Let's bring it to Dad.
Oh, love him.
Yeah, and then there was a scene that I cut down a little bit, but it's where he like referenced the Wizard of Oz conspiracy theory.
Of Oz. Yep, the gun thing. Yep,
it's still there, but it's not like as connected to, or at least I think it's still there. It might not. I can't remember. There's a point where like you have so many drafts of a book that like you can't remember shit.
Yeah, they all just blur together. I haven't been there personally, but I know that it's a thing that happens.
You will one day. Bestie.
I will.
We should do some writing live shows.
We should.
I miss those.
I want to get back into it so bad. I just don't do it.
It's not right, Bestie.
I know, it's a shame. I'm robbing the world of my words.
You're robbing me, more importantly.
Yeah.
You're robbing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this book. I just like glanced over the romance section and we covered everything already. Just like how I liked them in the current timeline, not in the past, which hindered my enjoyment. And then how they wrote each other into their books was very cute. But that's all I got, folks.
Yeah, I really liked it. I feel like I should have taken notes like during reading, because I had a lot of thoughts while I was reading. I just didn't write them down, so like I don't remember them. Oh yes, that segues us into what we're reading in March.
Me casually just like
slowly.
So our March book is 7% of Row Devereaux by Eleanor Clover. Obviously, we're doing this live show a lot later than we planned, but you still have time to read it. This beautiful YA contemporary. I adore this book with every fiber of my being. It's tabbed up the wazoo.
Up the wazoo.
I don't know why I've been saying that a lot recently.
I don't know why, but I always think that book cover is orange. I think it's because of her headphones, but every time I see that it's actually blue, I'm just like, what edition is this? But like, that's just how it looks.
Oh my god, if there were special editions of this book, I would go for it.
You have every single one.
There's like Polish edition maybe that she posts all the time, and it's really stunning. Let me see if I can find it on her Instagram. It's like, oh, it's so cute. It like makes it look like it's like online or like an app or something. Like it's got that kind of vibe to it.
That's fun.
I was typing in 7% of Row Devereaux into Instagram.
I do that sometimes if I go on my computer and like I know you message me, I'll just type in Brittany into my URL.
Oh, love that. I do that too.
Bring it up. It's so funny.
Okay, the first one that pops up is just like a video of it, but like.
Oh, I love that.
I wonder if she'll show the front again. But like, isn't it stunning? Oh, it's got the French
so cute
in it. Oh
yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Oh, I love it.
It is the Polish edition.
What the book is about too. Like I don't know what it's about.
Pardon?
I don't know what the book's about. I keep forgetting.
You don't know what the book's about? Let me enlighten you.
You tell me, but I forget. I'll probably forget. Yeah.
So Row Devereaux, our main character, our beautiful main character here, she has to do her like senior project thing, and she decides to create an app based off of the childhood game of MASH. So so she can predict like your life or like whatever. Row's app can predict details about your life with 93% accuracy, like where you'll live, what your career will be. She can even match you with your soulmate. So the app ends up going viral, and I believe like this tech company. Yeah, me too. I love MASH. This tech company reaches out and wants to help her develop and launch the app. And they are like, to prove the legitimacy of the app, of, you know, the claim that you are making of, you know, 93% accuracy, is we need you to find your perfect match and then date them. So fake dating. So she does this, finds her perfect match, and it just so happens to be her ex-childhood best friend.
Ooh, with the tea. Oh wow, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So she ends up having a fake date. This guy named Miller.
So good.
It's very cute. Yeah, I love this book so much. It is stunning. I literally cannot wait to reread it. So excited to talk about it. I just read her other book, The Someday Daughter, which just came out in February. Stunning. It's got a dog named Puddles.
Oh, that's so cute. Hi, Puddles.
We love Puddles. I've got artwork from the pre-order campaign of the main characters from that book. They're in a treehouse.
Oh, wow.
And it's so cute because, like, I knew this was a pre-order picture. I did the pre-order. And then I saw Rachel commented on the Instagram saying the treehouse scene. I'm like, what happens in the treehouse scene? And then I get to the treehouse scene. I'm like, oh my god, this makes sense.
The treehouse scene.
Very good.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm very excited to read this book with everybody. It's going to be amazing. Like, it's gonna be so good.
I'm excited for it.
Like, Miller, love him so much. And like, I'm sorry, but she's a genius. Eleanor Clover is a genius. Like, what do you mean? I don't know. I love it. And like, the book's like a seafoam green underneath. It's stunning. Look at that.
Yeah, I really like that.
And the Someday Daughter is like a nice light blue. Stunning. I appreciate when a book is not just black underneath.
When I have a little fun color.
And it's mainly because I've got very like oily fingers.
Oh,
and so
yeah. So
when I read a black book, I get like black residue on my fingers, like on the tips. I get like all these like black marks. It happened when I just read Fragile Threads, and it was really annoying. Because then it just looks ridiculous. I just got like black parts on my fingers, and it looks weird. And it never used to do that. Like, it only started like at the very end of high school. I'm like, well, what is happening? And I think I first noticed it with the Throne of Glass series. I was reading that in 2019. I guess it was after high school. And I was like, what is this? Anyways, everybody needs to read this book with us. I'm very excited.
Yes, it's going to be so good.
And like, Miller is on her headphones and he's reading a book.
Oh, that's so cute. Wow.
Amazing.
Every time I hear the name Miller, I just think of New Girl and Nick Miller. Love that name.
Fair. Love him to pieces.
I think my hold is actually ready to pick up. It is.
Oh my god. We need to read it then.
Yeah.
Maybe when I finish the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which I'm hoping to do this week. Then we can actually, do this at a more appropriate time.
Yeah. Be a little bit more on top of it.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do better, guys. We're going to try.
We're so sorry.
So sorry.
We need to make like a sit-down like YouTuber apology video.
Oh, I know. I am so sorry that we've been so bad.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining with us in this live show discussing 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. It was a lot of fun. And we will see you guys next month for Row Devereaux. So, bye.